1. All right, let's dive a little deeper into this 1981 Chevrolet Camaro. As a car enthusiast, I know that sometimes it's the imperfections that make a vehicle interesting. And this Camaro definitely has some character. First off, let's talk about the year. 1981 was a transitional year for the Camaro. It was the last year of the second generation, which means it has some of that classic 70s styling that people love. But it also has some of the more modern features that were starting to become popular in the 80s, like fuel injection and a more aerodynamic body style. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the fact that this car needs some work. The seller mentions that the belts need to be connected, which could be a relatively simple fix or a sign of bigger problems. It's important to get a thorough inspection done by a mechanic before making any decisions. But if you're someone who loves a good project car, this could be a great opportunity. Imagine the satisfaction of getting this Camaro back into top shape and cruising down the road in a piece of American automotive history. The fact that the car has 100,000 miles on it might seem like a lot, but for a classic car, that's not necessarily a deal breaker. These old Camaros were built to last, and with proper maintenance and care, they can keep running for a long time. Of course, it's important to be realistic about the costs involved in a project like this. Even if the price of the car seems low, you'll need to factor in the cost of any necessary repairs and upgrades. But if you're passionate about cars and have the skills or the willingness to learn, it could be a worthwhile investment. One thing that's great about this particular Camaro is the color. That classic blue is a great shade for a muscle car, and it's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Whether you keep the original paint job or decide to give it a fresh coat, this car is going to look great. At the end of the day, buying a classic car like this is not just about transportation. It's about the experience of owning a piece of history and the joy of bringing an old car back to life. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then this Chevrolet might just be the perfect project for you. 2. We've got a real treat for you. A 1976 Pontiac Trans Am that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic muscle car is being offered at a price of $15,000, and let me tell you, it's got a lot going for it. First off, let's talk about the condition. The seller rates it as good, and based on the description, it seems like this Trans Am has been well taken care of. The car runs and drives nicely, and the original 4-speed manual transmission shifts smoothly. The clutch and throwout bearing have also been recently replaced, which is a big plus. Under the hood, you'll find a small block Chevy 350 engine that's running great. But here's the kicker. The seller is also including the original Pontiac 400 engine with the sale. It needs to be rebuilt, but having the numbers-matching engine is a huge selling point for collectors. The interior of this Trans Am has been completely redone with a new kit, including fresh door and window rubbers from Steel Rubber, a reputable American company. The front windshield has also been replaced, so you won't have to worry about any cracks or chips. Now let's talk about the body. The seller mentions that the original color was Firethorn Red, and it's still under the primer, so you won't have to deal with multiple layers of paint. The car has had some modifications like molded-in flares, grille, bumper, and rear spoiler, which give it a unique look. There are some hairline cracks showing, but overall, the seller says the body is super straight and rust-free. The odometer shows 100,000 miles, but the seller notes that it is rolled over. This is pretty common for classic cars of this age, and it's not necessarily a red flag. What's important is that the car has been well maintained and is a solid driver as is. One thing to keep in mind is that this Trans Am is being sold as a project car. It's not a perfect show-ready vehicle, but it's got a ton of potential. With some TLC and maybe a few upgrades, this could be a real head-turner at car shows and on the street. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic muscle car with a lot of character, this Trans Am is definitely worth checking out. The seller seems knowledgeable and upfront about the car's condition, and the price seems fair for what you're getting. If you're interested, be sure to reach out to the seller and set up a time to see the car in person. Who knows? This could be the start of a beautiful friendship between you and a classic piece of American automotive history. 3. We're taking a closer look at a 1982 Ford Mercury that's currently for sale on Craigslist. The seller is asking $4,000 for this classic ride, and from what we can see, it might just be worth every penny. First things first, let's talk about the condition. The seller has listed it as good, and based on the description, It seems like this Mercury has been well maintained over the years. With just 51,418 miles on the odometer, this car is practically a baby in classic car terms. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but it's a four-cylinder engine. And you're right, it's not going to be a powerhouse like some of the V8 monsters out there. But hear me out. This car has a manual transmission, which means it's going to be a blast to drive. There's nothing quite like the feeling of rowing through the gears in a classic car. And with this Mercury, you'll get to experience that joy every time you get behind the wheel. The seller also mentions that both the interior and exterior are in great condition. That's a big deal for a car that's over 40 years old. Far too often, we see classic cars that have been neglected or left to rot in a garage somewhere. But this Mercury looks like it's been loved and cared for, which is a testament to its previous owners. Now, I know the ad says serious buyers only, but let's be real. If you're reading this, you're probably pretty serious about cars. And if you're in the market for a classic ride that won't break the bank, this Ford Mercury might just be the one for you. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence. Make sure to get a thorough inspection done by a trusted mechanic before making any decisions. And if possible, try to get a look at the car's maintenance records to see how well it's been taken care of over the years. But overall, based on what we can see in the ad, this Ford looks like a solid choice for anyone in the market for a classic car. It's got low miles, a manual transmission, and a great-looking interior and exterior. Plus, at just $4,000, it's a bargain compared to some of the other classic cars out there. So if you're ready to experience the joy of driving a classic car, why not give this Mercury a closer look? Who knows? It might just be the start of a beautiful friendship between you and a piece of automotive history. 4. We've got something really special to share with you. A 1975 Cadillac Eldorado that's up for sale on Craigslist. This beauty is being offered at a price of $15,000. And let me tell you, it's got a lot going for it. First off, let's talk about the rarity of this car. The seller mentions that this Eldorado is the exact same model as the 1976 Bicentennial Edition Fleetwood Eldorado, of which only 200 were ever made. That means that this car is a true collector's item, and it's the perfect opportunity for someone who wants to own a piece of automotive history. Now, let's dive into the details. This Eldorado is a two-door convertible, which means you can enjoy the wind in your hair while cruising down the road. It's powered by a massive 8-cylinder 500 CID engine that puts out 190 horsepower, so you know it's got plenty of get up and go. The seller rates the overall condition of the car as good, and based on the description, it seems like this Eldorado has been very well taken care of. It's always been garaged, which is a huge plus for a classic car like this. And with only 41,000 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this car hasn't been driven into the ground. One thing that really stands out about this Eldorado is the clear title. That means there are no liens or other issues that could cause headaches down the road. It's always a good sign when a seller is upfront about the title status, and it shows that they're serious about making a deal. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence. The seller encourages potential buyers to call for more details, and that's definitely something you should do if you're seriously interested. Ask about the car's maintenance history, any recent repairs or upgrades, and anything else that might be relevant. But overall, based on what we can see in the ad, this Eldorado looks like an incredible opportunity for a collector or enthusiast. It's a rare and beautiful car with low miles and a clear title, and it's being offered at a price that seems more than fair for what you're getting. So if you've been dreaming of owning a classic Cadillac convertible, this might just be your chance. Give the seller a call, schedule a time to see the car in person, and who knows, you might just drive home in a piece of automotive history. 5. We've got a real treat for you, a 1982 Ford Mustang that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic pony car is being offered at a price of $7,500, and let me tell you, it's got a lot of things going for it that make it worth considering. First off, let's talk about the engine. This Mustang is packing a 5.0-liter V8 under the hood, which is the engine you want if you're looking for classic Mustang performance. It's paired with a 4-speed manual transmission, which means you'll get to enjoy the full driving experience, shifting gears and hearing that V8 rumble. The seller mentions that this Mustang is a GL model, which was the base trim level for the 1982 model year. But don't let that fool you. this car is still loaded with features. It's got air conditioning that blows cold, power steering for easy maneuvering, and those classic pony wheels that just scream Mustang. The exterior of this Mustang is painted in a sleek gray color, which looks great paired with the black interior. And speaking of the interior, the seller notes that it's in very original condition. That's a big plus for collectors and enthusiasts who value originality. Now let's talk about the mileage. The odometer shows just 67,000 miles, which is relatively low for a car that's over 40 years old. Of course, as with any classic car, it's important to verify the accuracy of the mileage and get a thorough inspection before making a purchase. The seller also mentions that this Mustang has a clean title, which is always a good sign. It means there are no major accidents or damage in the car's history that could come back to haunt you later on. One thing to note is that the seller is firm on the price and is only accepting cash. They're not interested in trades, so if you're serious about buying this Mustang, make sure you've got the funds ready to go. Overall, based on the information provided in the ad, this Ford looks like a solid choice for anyone in the market for a classic pony car. It's got a powerful V8 engine, a manual transmission, and a clean title. Plus, with that gray and black color combo and those pony wheels, it's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence. Ask the seller for more details about the car's history and maintenance records, and consider getting a professional inspection before making a final decision. But if you're ready to experience the thrill of driving a classic Mustang, this 1982 model might just be the one for you. So why not give the seller a call and see if you can make a deal? Who knows? You might just drive off into the sunset in your very own piece of American muscle car history. 6. We've got a real blast from the past to share with you. A 1971 Ford Pinto that's up for sale on Craigslist. This little hatchback is being offered at a price of $5,500, and based on the seller's description, it seems like it could be a real gem. First off, let's talk about the condition. The seller rates it as excellent, and from what we can see in the ad, it looks like they might be right. The body is free of rust and dents, which is pretty remarkable for a car that's over 50 years old. The bright orange paint job is sure to turn heads, too. Under the hood, you'll find a 2000cc motor paired with a C4 automatic transmission. The seller mentions that the car has some new parts and runs well, which is always a good sign. They do recommend installing an electric fuel pump, but that's a relatively easy fix for anyone with some mechanical know-how. One thing that really stands out about this Pinto is the mileage. With just under 88,000 original miles on the odometer, it's clear that this car has been well cared for over the years. That low mileage is a big selling point for collectors and enthusiasts who value originality. The seller also mentions that this is a first-year Pinto, which adds to its collectability. The Pinto was introduced in 1971 as Ford's answer to the growing demand for small, fuel-efficient cars. While it had a somewhat controversial reputation due to safety concerns, it remains an important part of automotive history. Now, let's talk about the price. At $5,500, this Pinto is priced a bit higher than some other classic economy cars out there. But when you consider the excellent condition, low mileage, and historical significance, it starts to look like a pretty good deal. The seller also mentions that they may be open to trades, particularly for Falcons and Comets. So if you've got one of those classic Fords sitting around and you're looking to switch things up, this could be your chance. Overall, based on the information provided in the ad, this Pinto looks like a fantastic opportunity for anyone who appreciates classic cars. It's got a clean title, low mileage, and a great color combo. Plus, with the seller offering delivery, you won't even have to worry about picking it up yourself. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence. Ask the seller for more details about the car's history and maintenance records, and consider getting a professional inspection before making a final decision. But if you're ready to add a unique and eye-catching classic to your collection, this Pinto might just be the way to go. So why not reach out to the seller and see if you can make a deal? Who knows? You might just be cruising down the road in your very own piece of automotive history before you know it. 7. All right, folks, I've got a real gem for you today. A 1985 Chevrolet El Camino SS that's looking for a new home. This beauty is being sold on Craigslist for just $6,800, and let me tell you, it's got a unique story behind it. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This El Camino has seen some life. It was a farm vehicle used by an elderly couple to haul hay around their small horse ranch. It's got some surface rust, which is to be expected for a vehicle pushing 40 years old. The tailgate has a rust-through, but that's not a deal breaker. You can easily replace it with an aftermarket or used one. But here's the thing. This El Camino is a survivor. It's a true, unmolested Supersport V8, complete with the original 5.0L engine and automatic transmission. The interior is in good shape too, with the original light blue velour seats. It's got a few minor dings, but nothing that can't be fixed with some elbow grease and paintless body repair. I know some of you might be skeptical, thinking, if it's in such good condition, why is it so cheap? Well, let me be frank with you. This El Camino isn't perfect, it's not a showroom piece, but it's got heart, and it's got potential. It's a blank canvas waiting for someone with vision to transform it into something truly special. In today's market, finding a completely original, untouched 5th and final edition, square-body El Camino is like striking gold. These vehicles are becoming increasingly rare, and to find one that hasn't been messed with is a real opportunity. So, if you're up for a project and want to own a piece of American automotive history, give the seller a call. They're only accepting phone calls due to some unfortunate experiences with scammers, so no texts, please. In conclusion, this Chevrolet is a diamond in the rough. It's not perfect, but it's got character, originality, and a whole lot of potential. Don't let this chance slip away. Make that call and make this classic yours today. 8. We've got a unique find on Craigslist, a 1984 Cadillac DeVille limo, and it's up for grabs at just $4,000. This isn't your everyday vehicle, folks. It's a piece of automotive history with a story to tell. Under the hood, you'll find a 4.1L V8 engine paired with an automatic transmission that was rebuilt about 5 years ago. The owner also replaced the tires, brakes, spark plugs, and wires at that time. This limo has been driven around 5,000 kilometers in the past 12 years, including an epic road trip to Calgary with some buddies. It drove amazingly well then, and the owner vouches for its road tripping capabilities. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the condition. The seller is upfront about it being in fair condition. The paint has rock chips and dings, and it's peeling from the right rear quarter filler. The previous owner made some small rust repairs on the bottom corners of the doors and right rear wheel well. There's also a small crack on the passenger side of the windshield, but it doesn't affect visibility. The vinyl roof has a temporary fix as it ripped during a drive-through Hope a few years back. It will need to be replaced, but hey, that's just part of the charm, right? Inside, you'll find subs in the trunk and an audio deck in the dash, but they need to be wired up. And here's a quirk. The left rear door doesn't currently open, so you might have to get creative with your passenger seating arrangements. The seller is being transparent about the fact that this limo hasn't been driven for about a year since it was brought to its current location. It probably needs an oil change and a tune-up, but it started up fine today. So why consider this Cadillac? Well, it's not every day you come across a vehicle with this much character and history. It's a conversation starter, a head-turner, and a potential project for the right enthusiast. If you're up for a bit of a challenge and want to own a unique piece of automotive history, this limo might be just what you're looking for. At $4,000, it's an opportunity to get your hands on a classic Cadillac that's got plenty of stories to tell. Just remember, this isn't a pristine showroom piece. It's got some battle scars and needs some TLC, but if you're willing to put in the work, you could have a real gem on your hands. So if you're ready to take on this DeVille limo project, give the seller a shout. Who knows, you might just be the one to write the next chapter in this limo's story. 9. We've got a real treat for you. A 1979 Chevrolet Monza that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $3,900. This little beauty is a unique find, and it's got some serious potential. First things first, let's talk about what makes this Monza special. Under the hood, you'll find a small block V8 engine, which is pretty rare for a Monza. Chevy replaced the Vega with the Monza, but they never gave it the V8 treatment. This one's got it though, and it's paired with a TH350 automatic transmission. Plus, it's got all the goodies: AC, power steering, and power brakes. Now, the seller is upfront about the condition. It's listed as fair, but don't let that scare you off. This Monza has got a lot going for it. The seller has put in some work with a new battery, spark plugs, fuel pump, and lines. It's also got some sweet BFG tires and new hatch struts. One of the best things about this Monza is that it just passed emissions and the certificate is included. That means you won't have to worry about any headaches there. Plus, the seller is including a clean Colorado title. And get this, 5-year plates and registration will run you less than $150. That's a steal. Another thing to love about this Monza is its weight. At under 3,000 pounds with the V8 and all the accessories, it's a lightweight compared to its Chevelle, Camaro, and Nova cousins. That means it's got some serious get up and go. The seller is also including a bunch of extra parts, which is always a nice bonus. And let's talk about those spider emblems. They give this Monza some serious style points. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but wait, it's in fair condition. What's the catch? Well, the seller is being straight with you. This Monza isn't perfect, but it's got a ton of potential. With a little elbow grease and some TLC, you could have a real head turner on your hands. So, if you're in the market for a unique, lightweight, V8-powered ride with some serious character, this Monza might just be the one for you. At $3,900, it's a lot of car for the money. Plus, with all the extras the seller is throwing in, you'll be getting even more bang for your buck. If you're ready to take on this Monza project and make it your own, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. Who knows? You might just be the one to give this unique piece of Chevy history a new lease on life. 10. Have I got a treat for you today? We're taking a look at a 1957 Plymouth Savoy that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $8,000. This black and white beauty is a real blast from the past, and it's got some serious potential. First off, let's talk about the condition. The seller has listed it as good, and from what I can see, that seems to be a fair assessment. This Savoy has been tucked away in a garage for a few years, so it's been protected from the elements. That means no weather damage or rain to worry about. However, the seller does mention that it will need to be hauled off, so keep that in mind if you're considering making a move on this classic. Now let's get to the good stuff. Under the hood, you'll find a 6-cylinder engine, which is paired with an automatic transmission. The seller notes that the car will need new tires and hoses, but other than that, it should run smoothly with a few repairs. That's pretty impressive for a car that's over 60 years old. Moving on to the exterior, the seller says it's in great shape for its age. There's some rust on the fender and the paint is starting to fade, so a new paint job might be in order if you want to really make the Savoy shine. But hey, a little patina never hurt anyone, right? Inside, the interior is intact. And the seller even mentions that a new floorboard was installed a few years ago along with new floor carpet. That's a big plus in my book. The car also has side mirrors and a rear-view mirror on the dash, so you'll be able to keep an eye on your surroundings while cruising down the road. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but wait, what about modern conveniences? Well, fear not, because this Savoy has been upgraded with seatbelts and a CD player radio. Sure, you'll need to install some speakers if you want to blast your tunes, but that's a small price to pay for the cool factor of rolling in a '57 Plymouth. So, what's the bottom line here? This Savoy is a solid classic car with a lot of potential. It's being sold as is, so you'll need to put in some work to get it roadworthy. But that's all part of the fun of owning a vintage ride. Plus, at $8,000, it's a pretty sweet deal for a car with this much character. If you're ready to take on this Savoy project and make it your own, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. Who knows? You might just be the one to give this classic Plymouth a new lease on life and turn some heads while you're at it. 11. We've got a real treat for you. A 1980 Chevrolet Corvette that's up for grabs on Craigslist for $14,000. This silver stunner is ready to hit the road and turn some heads. First things first, let's talk about the basics. This Corvette is rocking a powerful 8-cylinder engine under the hood, paired with an automatic transmission. It's a rear-wheel drive beast that's sure to put a smile on your face every time you hit the gas. And with just 50,545 miles on the odometer, this Vette has plenty of life left in it. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the condition? Well, I've got good news for you. The seller hasn't mentioned any major issues or poor conditions, so it seems like this Corvette has been well taken care of. Plus, it comes with a clean title, so you can have peace of mind knowing there's no shady history lurking in the background. The seller also mentions that this Corvette looks and drives great, which is always a big plus. And if you're worried about financing, don't be. The dealership offers excellent financing options, on approved credit, of course. They even accept trade-ins. So if you've got an old ride you're looking to upgrade from, this could be your chance. One thing to keep in mind is that the price listed doesn't include things like license, title, registration fees, taxes, or other charges. But hey, that's pretty standard in the car buying world. Just make sure you factor those costs into your budget when you're considering making a move on this Corvette. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if there's something wrong with it that the seller isn't mentioning? Well, the dealership does say that all vehicles are sold as is, with no exclusions. But they also offer a free Carfax report so you can get a better idea of the car's history before you make a decision. At the end of the day, this Chevrolet seems like a solid choice for anyone looking for a classic sports car with plenty of style and power. It's got low miles, a clean title, and a dealership behind it that seems committed to making the buying process as easy as possible. If you're ready to make this Corvette yours, don't hesitate to reach out to the dealership. Give them a call or shoot them a text at the number provided in the ad. And who knows? You might just be the one to give this classic Vette a new lease on life and create some unforgettable memories behind the wheel. 12. We've got a real treat for you. A 1973 Ford Gran Torino Sport that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $9,000. This brown beauty is a true blast from the past, and it's got all the right features to make any vintage car lover drool. First off, let's talk about what makes this Gran Torino Sport special. It's a two-door coupe, which means it's got that sleek, sporty look that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful V8.5, 8L351 Cleveland engine that's ready to roar. And with an automatic transmission, you can cruise down the highway in style without breaking a sweat. But that's not all. This Gran Torino Sport is loaded with features that were cutting edge back in 1973. It's got power windows and power door locks, so you can roll down the windows and lock up with ease. And if you're looking to stay cool on those hot summer days, you'll be happy to know that this car has air conditioning. That's right, you can enjoy the classic car experience without sacrificing modern comforts. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the condition? Well, I've got good news for you. The seller has listed the condition as good, and from what I can see in the ad, it looks like they've taken great care of this car. It's all original, which means it hasn't been modified or messed with over the years. And get this, it runs and drives. That's right, you can hop in and hit the road right away. But the seller didn't just stop at making sure the car runs. They've also fully maintained this Gran Torino Sport with a long list of new parts and services. We're talking new front and rear shocks, an engine oil change, an engine oil pan gasket, a transmission service, a differential service, output shaft seals, brake calipers, and brake lines. Phew, that's a lot of work. But it just goes to show how much the seller cares about this car and wants to make sure it's in top shape for its new owner. So what's the bottom line here? This Gran Torino Sport is a rare find that's sure to make any classic car enthusiast happy. It's got a clean title, a great list of features, and a seller who's put in the work to make sure it's ready to hit the road. And at just $9,000, it's a steal for a car of this caliber. If you're ready to make this Gran Torino Sport yours, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one cruising down the highway in this brown beauty, turning heads and making memories along the way. 13. We're taking a closer look at a 1977 Mercury Grand Marquis that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $10,000. This gray beauty is a true gem, and it's got a story that's sure to make any vintage car lover smile. First off, let's talk about the condition of this Grand Marquis. The seller has listed it as excellent, and from what I can see in the ad, that's no exaggeration. This car was previously owned by elderly individuals who took meticulous care of it and had it routinely serviced. That means you're getting a vehicle that's been loved and cherished, not just some old clunker that's been sitting in a garage for decades. But the real kicker here is the mileage. This Grand Marquis has only 69,000 original miles on the odometer. That's right, just 69,000 miles. For a car that's over 40 years old, that's practically unheard of. It's a testament to how well this vehicle has been maintained over the years. Now let's talk about the features. This Grand Marquis is fully loaded and everything is in working condition. That means you've got all the bells and whistles that made this car a true luxury vehicle back in 1977. And get this, The air conditioning system blows ice-cold air. That's right, you can cruise around in comfort even on the hottest summer days. But what about the performance? Well, let me tell you, this Grand Marquis is no slouch. It's equipped with a powerful 460 big block engine that's paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission. That means you've got plenty of power under the hood to get you where you need to go. And the seller says it runs and drives smoothly, so you can expect a comfortable ride every time you get behind the wheel. But perhaps the best part about this Grand Marquis is that it's Dream Cruise ready. For those of you who don't know, the Woodward Dream Cruise is a massive classic car event that takes place every summer in Detroit. And this car is ready to be a part of it. All it needs is a driver who appreciates its history and wants to show it off to the world. So what's the bottom line here? This Mercury is a rare find that's sure to make any classic car enthusiast happy. It's got low mileage, a clean title, a great list of features, and a seller who's taken incredible care of it over the years. And at just $10,000, it's a steal for a car of this caliber. If you're ready to make this Grand Marquis yours and cruise down Woodward Avenue in style, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one turning heads and making memories behind the wheel of this classic beauty. 14. The 1970 Ford Mustang is a classic American muscle car that continues to capture the hearts of enthusiasts. This particular example, a Mustang Grande Coupe, is currently available on Craigslist for $13,500. It's a compelling choice for those seeking a vintage ride with plenty of potential. Under the hood, you'll find a 302 cubic inch V8 engine with a 2-barrel carburetor, paired with a smooth shifting automatic transmission. This combination delivers a balance of performance and drivability, making it suitable for cruising or occasional spirited driving. The interior features bucket seats and a console-mounted floor shifter, giving it a sporty feel. The optional clock in the dash and a tachometer add to the car's vintage charm. Dual sport mirrors provide improved visibility, while power brakes with front disc brakes and power steering enhance the driving experience. The seller notes that many components, such as the fuel tank, fuel pump, and timing chain, have been replaced to ensure the car is roadworthy. This suggests that the Mustang has been well maintained and cared for over the years. One of the standout features of this Mustang is its original Calypso coral paint color. This vibrant orange hue is a favorite among Mustang enthusiasts and adds to the car's overall appeal. It's important to note that while the seller describes the car's condition as good, it's essential for potential buyers to thoroughly inspect the vehicle and assess its condition in person. With an odometer reading of 100,000 miles, it's likely that the car may have some wear and tear consistent with its age. Overall, this Mustang Grande Coupe presents an exciting opportunity for classic car lovers. Whether you're looking for a project car to restore to its former glory or a vintage ride to enjoy as is, this Mustang is worth considering. Its iconic design, desirable color, and potential for customization make it an attractive choice in the classic car market. 15. The 1972 Buick Electra 225 is a true embodiment of the golden era of American luxury automobiles. This particular example, currently listed on Craigslist for $14,000, presents an opportunity to own a piece of automotive history that has been remarkably well preserved. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 8-cylinder engine, most likely Buick's renowned 455 cubic inch V8. This power plant is known for its impressive torque output, enabling the Electra 225 to effortlessly cruise on highways and boulevards alike. The engine is mated to a smooth shifting automatic transmission, ensuring a relaxed and comfortable driving experience. The seller states that the car runs and drives great, which is a testament to the care and maintenance it has received over the years. With just 98,895 miles on the odometer, this Electra 225 has relatively low mileage for its age, suggesting that it has been sparingly used and well preserved. The car's exterior is finished in a rich brown paint color that exudes sophistication and elegance. The seller mentions that the car sits on nice wheels, hinting at the possibility of period-correct or aftermarket upgrades that enhance its visual appeal. The chrome accents and distinctive Buick styling cues, such as the sweeping fender lines and prominent grille, add to the car's commanding presence on the road. Step inside the spacious interior and you'll be greeted by a cabin that prioritizes comfort and luxury. The Electra, 225 was known for its generous passenger accommodations with ample room for occupants to stretch out and enjoy the ride. The seller notes that the car features hot heat and cold AC, indicating that the climate control system is fully functional, ensuring a pleasant driving experience regardless of the weather conditions. One of the standout features of this particular Electra 225 is its readiness to be driven or shown off. The seller's description suggests that the car is in excellent running condition and presents well cosmetically. Whether you're looking for a classic daily driver or a showpiece for car events and gatherings, this Buick seems to fit the bill. It's important to note that while the seller describes the car as being in like-new condition, it is always recommended to personally inspect the vehicle and review its history and documentation before making a purchase. A thorough examination can help verify the car's condition and ensure that it meets your expectations. In summary, this Electra 225 represents a rare opportunity to acquire a well-maintained and attractive example of a classic American luxury sedan. Its combination of style, comfort, and performance make it a compelling choice for enthusiasts and collectors alike. If you're in the market for a vintage car that showcases the best of Buick's craftsmanship and engineering, this Electra 225 is definitely worth considering. 16. I've got a real treat for you, a 1947 Plymouth Special Deluxe Coupe that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is a true vintage gem, and it could be yours for just $10,000. Let's dive in and see what makes this classic ride so special. First off, let's talk about what's under the hood. The 47 Plymouth is packing a 6-cylinder engine that's paired with a 3-speed manual transmission on the column. It's got that old-school cool factor with the shifter right there on the steering column, and get this, the car starts and runs. That's a huge plus for a vehicle that's been around for over 7 decades. Now, I know you're probably wondering about the condition. The seller's been straight up about it, which I appreciate. They've owned this Plymouth for more than 35 years, so you know they've got a real attachment to it. The odometer shows 67,286 miles, which is pretty darn low for a car from the 1940s. The exterior is rocking a blue paint job that's seen some fading over the years, but overall, it's in good shape. The seller says the interior is usable but could use some work. Hey, that just means you've got the opportunity to put your own personal touch on this classic. One cool feature is that the car comes with a radio, but it's not installed at the moment. Imagine cruising down the road in this vintage ride with some period-correct tunes playing. That's the dream, right? Now here's the important stuff. The title is clean. That's a big deal when you're buying a classic car because you don't want any surprises or legal issues popping up down the road. So, what's the bottom line? This Plymouth is a solid choice for anyone who's into vintage cars. It's got a running engine, a clean title, and a whole lot of potential. Sure, it might need some TLC in the interior department, but that's part of the fun of owning a classic. If you're thinking about taking the plunge, just remember to give it a thorough once-over in person. And maybe even have a mechanic check it out before you seal the deal. But if everything checks out, you could be the proud new owner of a piece of automotive history. There you have it, folks. A special deluxe coupe that's ready for its next adventure. If you've got $10,000 and a love for vintage rides, this could be the car you've been waiting for. Thanks for tuning in, and happy bidding. 17. The 1954 Ford Custom Line for sale on Craigslist is a classic 4-door sedan with a rich history. This particular model boasts a powerful V8 engine with 239 cubic inches, which has been rebuilt by the reputable Jasper Company in 2010. The car runs well and features a dual exhaust system, adding to its impressive performance. The exterior of the car is finished in a sleek black paint, complemented by a blue interior. The seller has made significant investments in updating and restoring various components of the vehicle. The gas tank, fuel pump, gas cap, package tray, headliner, floor carpet, and seat belts have all been replaced with new parts. The rear end, transmission, and generator have been rebuilt to ensure optimal functionality. One of the standout features of this Ford is the completely new wiring system, which is still in the original 6-volt configuration. The car also comes with 5 original 1954 full hubcaps, adding to its authentic vintage appearance. The radio has been rebuilt and is a tube type, staying true to the era in which the car was manufactured. The exhaust system features 2 new Cherry Bomb mufflers, which are known for their deep, aggressive sound. The seller mentions that the car has its original hood ornament, a detail that collectors and enthusiasts will appreciate. The odometer reads 80,000 miles, which is relatively low for a car of this age. The title status is clean, indicating that there are no major issues or discrepancies with the vehicle's ownership history. While the seller describes the car's condition as good, it's important to keep in mind that this is a subjective assessment. Potential buyers should carefully inspect the vehicle in person and, if necessary, have a professional mechanic evaluate its condition before making a purchase decision. The asking price for this Ford Custom line is $10,000. Considering the extensive work done to restore and update the vehicle, as well as its historical significance, this price may be justified for the right buyer. However, as with any used car purchase, it's essential to negotiate based on the actual condition of the vehicle and market value for similar models. In conclusion, this custom line presents an exciting opportunity for classic car enthusiasts or collectors looking to own a piece of automotive history. With its rebuilt engine, updated components, and original features, this sedan has a lot to offer. Interested buyers should contact the seller for more information and arrange a viewing to fully appreciate this classic beauty. 18. The 1981 Buick Riviera, for sale in Milford, Connecticut, is a classic two-door coupe with a rich history and impressive originality. This particular model is powered by a 4.1-liter V6 engine and features an automatic transmission, delivering a smooth and comfortable driving experience. With just 61,471 original miles on the odometer, this Riviera has been well maintained and preserved over the years. The car's exterior boasts its original paintwork in a classic gray color, complemented by the original front and rear bumpers. The seller has recently installed 4 matching Cooper white wall tires, adding to the vehicle's authentic vintage appearance. The interior is also original, showcasing the craftsmanship and style of the era. Under the hood, the Riviera has received several new parts, including a new old stock, NOS, mechanical fuel pump, oil pressure sending unit, carburetor, and gas fuel tank. The hood and trunk shocks have also been replaced, ensuring proper functionality. The seller has recently performed an oil change with a new filter, further demonstrating their commitment to maintaining the vehicle. One of the most remarkable aspects of this Buick Riviera is the discovery of its birth certificate, or build sheet. This document was found in the lower bottom driver's left rear quarter panel well, perfectly preserved and intact. Such a find is extremely rare, as these areas are typically prone to rust and deterioration. The presence of the build sheet and the lack of rust or rot in the quarter panel well speak to the exceptional condition of this vehicle. The seller mentions that the fuel gauge is not working, likely due to a bad ground on the wiring harness. Additionally, the fillers for the front and rear bumpers are broken off and missing, but this is not the result of an accident. The materials used by GM for this generation of Rivieras were known to have issues, but the seller notes that these fillers are still available for replacement. The asking price for this Buick is $3,850, which includes the recent upgrades and repairs made to the steering column. The seller is open to trades, either full or partial, and is willing to consider a wide range of items, including wrecked, junk, or scrap vehicles. Interested buyers are encouraged to contact the seller directly for a complete list of trade items and to discuss potential deals that may even result in receiving money back along with the merchandise. In conclusion, this Riviera presents a unique opportunity for classic car enthusiasts and collectors to own a well-preserved piece of automotive history. With its original features, low mileage, and recent upgrades, this coupe is a testament to the craftsmanship and style of the era. Interested buyers should contact the seller to arrange a viewing and discuss the possibility of a trade or purchase. 19. The 1985 Lincoln Town Car for sale in Jacksonville is a luxurious classic sedan that has been meticulously cared for over the years. With just 48,971 miles on the odometer, this low-mileage beauty is a rare find in today's market. The car is powered by a robust V8 engine, ensuring a smooth and powerful driving experience. The exterior of the car is finished in an elegant gray paint, which appears to be in excellent condition. The seller emphasizes that the town car's overall condition, both inside and out, is exceptional. The car starts, runs, and drives nicely, indicating that it has been well maintained mechanically. Inside, The Lincoln Town Car boasts a plush leather interior, providing a comfortable and luxurious environment for both driver and passengers. The car is equipped with electric windows and seats, adding to its convenience and ease of use. One of the standout features of this particular model is the sunroof, which allows for an open-air driving experience when desired. The seller notes that the air conditioning system works flawlessly, getting cold very quickly and capable of freezing you out. This is a crucial feature, especially for those living in warmer climates or planning to use the car for long drives. The tires on this town car are described as being in great condition, suggesting that they have been recently replaced or have plenty of tread life remaining. This is an important factor to consider, as it can save potential buyers from the immediate expense of replacing tires. One of the most compelling aspects of this listing is the seller's confidence in the car's roadworthiness. They state that the buyer can get in this car and drive immediately across country, which speaks volumes about the vehicle's reliability and overall condition. This peace of mind is invaluable for those in search of a classic car that can be enjoyed without the need for extensive repairs or upgrades. The asking price for this Lincoln is $7,500, which appears to be reasonable considering the car's low mileage, excellent condition, and desirable features. The seller is open to considering trades for cars, trucks, RVs, real estate, or other real property, providing potential buyers with some flexibility in their purchasing options. Additionally, the seller mentions that cash is available for trade-up, which could be beneficial for those looking to upgrade to this classic luxury sedan. In conclusion, this town car presents an excellent opportunity for collectors, enthusiasts, or anyone in search of a reliable and luxurious classic car. With its low mileage, well-maintained condition, and desirable features, this sedan is a standout listing in the Jacksonville area. Interested buyers are encouraged to contact the seller and arrange a viewing to fully appreciate the car's quality and potential. Whether purchasing outright or considering a trade, this Lincoln Town Car is a compelling option for those in the market for a classic luxury vehicle. 20. The 1974 Pontiac Ventura Coupe for sale is a rare and well-preserved classic car that has been cherished by its current owner since 1983. With only 47,642 original miles on the odometer, this two-door coupe is powered by a robust V8 350 engine and features an automatic transmission. The car's originality is one of its most appealing aspects, as it retains its original drivetrain, body, and interior. The seller emphasizes that the car has been garaged in storage, which has undoubtedly contributed to its good condition. Mechanically, the Pontiac Ventura starts and runs strong, with no reported issues. The owner has invested in numerous new parts, including spark plugs, alternator, battery, front shocks, rear air shocks, radiator starter, and wiring. The brake system has also been upgraded, with stainless steel brake lines, a new brake master cylinder, and new brakes on both the front and rear. The car's performance is enhanced by the addition of centerline racing wheels, traction bars, and a Holley 650 double-pumper carburetor. These modifications suggest that the Ventura has been enjoyed as a spirited driver's car while still maintaining its original charm. Inside, the Pontiac Ventura features a front split bench seat, adding to its classic 1970s aesthetic. The seller notes that while the car is not perfect, it is a solid vehicle overall. Some areas that may require attention include the paint and the interior, where some of the original seats are getting thin and some rear seat trim is deteriorating. The seller is offering this Pontiac with a clear, clean title in hand, making the transaction straightforward for the buyer. It is important to note that the seller is not interested in trades and is looking for a cash deal only. This decision is based on their desire to reduce their collection of toys, which they no longer have time for. Previously listed at $15,000, the seller has reduced the price to $9,995, making it an attractive opportunity for classic car enthusiasts or collectors. The seller describes this as a very fair price, considering the car's originality, low mileage, and the recent investments made in its mechanical upkeep. In conclusion, this Ventura presents a unique chance to own a well-preserved and cherished classic car. With its original drivetrain, low mileage, and recent mechanical upgrades, this coupe is ready to be enjoyed by its next owner. While some cosmetic improvements may be desired, the car's overall solid condition and attractive pricing make it a compelling option for those in the market for a vintage American muscle car, Interested buyers should contact the seller to arrange a viewing and discuss the details of this cash-only deal.